And welcome into Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, founder of TJ Stearns, Inc., conveniently located in Arlington Heights, and the resource for proactive planning, saving, investing Chicagoland area residents. So many have taken advantage of the opportunity of the help and the assistance in planning that Tim Stearns, CFP, provides. So many more need the guidance, Tim. There are a lot of questions and concerns, and we'll address those, try to address many of those on today's program on this edition of Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement. Now, I do want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that the education here, the information is important. Don't act on anything without consulting your individual financial professional. But if you need that resource or like to double check on things, that's the true value of the program and exactly what Tim Stearns CFP is here for. If you'd like to put any of the information into action or learn more about the strategies described here on the programming and the issues and opportunities covered, pick up the phone and give Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, a call. Talk with him personally, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, with all of that said, getting that out of the way, what are some of the big questions and concerns that you're hearing about that are on the minds of savers and investors today?
Well, one of the things that we're going to be covering in the next our next podcast and radio show is we're going to have our attorney, Don Cosley, on to talk about estate planning, because there's a lot of changes that have happened due to the Secure Act. So, a lot of people are, do I need a will? Do I need a trust? Why do I need this versus that? Healthcare directive. We're going to cover all that on the next show. So that is one thing. I'll just give that as a teaser out there. But what I'm seeing, a lot of people are very concerned about Roth conversions, because people are hearing through scuttlebutt and that type of thing that there is a tax bill that's going to expire right at the end of 2025, and it's already July. So, of 2024. So if you're going to nibble on that tax bill, when should you do it? When should you not do it? And what is my tax bill? And that's one of the reasons that we opened up that website, Peter, as you know, is www.mvpcfp.com, which people can get their tax report as to what they owe on qualified money. Because I say this analogy all the time, but if you walked up to someone on the street and you said, how much money do you have in your IRAs and your 401ks for retirement? They will get it right within $50,000. I promise that. Okay. But if you ask them over you and your spouse's lifetime, how much will you be paying in taxes? They will look at you like they don't have the foggiest idea. And that's why we're trying to help people out there and giving this as a resource. So again, that's www.mvpcfp.com. And you can put your information in there and we'll send you a nice report that tells you exactly what your tax bill will be on your qualified money.
Yeah, that's the online tool, the calculator, the retirement tax bill estimator that is available at mvpcfp.com. MVP like most valuable professional, CFP like certified financial planner, right? Is mvpcfp.com. You can go plug in your information, your approximate account balance, and as Tim said, that part most people know within a very close amount. Your estimated tax rate into the future, and many people don't know that exactly, but lots of people do. It's just an estimate. That's a variable that you can control on the calculator. You can take the slider up and down and back and forth and sort of give a rough estimate for that, and then hit the calculate button, and you see side by side, if you just simply default to the IRS's current plan for distributions and taxation versus the amount that you can bring that tax bill, that liability down to over your lifetime if you are a bit more proactive in your strategies, and the difference is significant in many cases. So go now, check that out for yourself. You get the report right there online. You get to download that if you'd like to. And then, of course, you can talk to a professional, your professional, or Tim Stearns, CFP, obviously makes that available as part of how to enact the strategies that can bring that tax bill down. So MVPCFP.com, MVPCFP.com. So Tim, taxation, I mean, you've talked about it before, one of our largest expenses, not only just in life, but specifically in retirement. Probably one of the largest, if not the largest, known expense that we will have. And people are looking not only in today's environment, how to manage and control that, but then we look to the future. And I think a lot of people are concerned that taxes are likely going up, maybe even more than that tax change that's slated for 2026 would indicate. I think people are looking at the debt, the deficit, the spending, and worried that taxes are going to increase significantly.
Well, I think a lot will happen with what happens in November, but that being said, if they don't do anything, they don't move the mark at all. For example, the 12% tax bracket will go to 15%. And as you said, Peter, 3% doesn't sound like a lot, but that's actually a 25% increase, right? If you do the math on that. So these are things that we're talking to our clients about. If you're out there wondering how you can save on taxes and you haven't really had a talk with your advisor about it, well, shame on them. Give us a call and we'll be happy to do that, to run through that exercise with you. The other thing I'm happy to do is if you have over $1 million worth of assets, I'd like to get the book into your hands, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. It has all the information in there about the Secure Act and all the things that are going to be happening in the next year or so. And I think it's good knowledge for people, and it's layman's terms. I don't try to get it at a high level here, but it's important that people understand what retirement looks like.
If you would like a copy of that book, Tim Stearns, CFP's book on solving the modern retirement riddle, then pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. 800-640-2256. Be one of the first 10 callers. The strategies described are for those who have already been serious about making their financial progress, but want to maintain the financial confidence the day after the paycheck stops and for all the years there beyond. So if that is you, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got $1 million or more, this book is specifically written and designed to help you to achieve and maintain that lasting financial confidence into and throughout retirement and even beyond. So pick up the phone, give a call right now. First 10 callers receive a copy of that book. 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, I also want to mention the new redesign on the website, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. And ladies and gentlemen, that's Stearns like Earns, EARNS, tjstearns.com. But Tim, beautiful website, lots of tools and resources and reports and calculators and information and access to all of your resources there on the new and improved tjstearns.com.
Well, I think, there's so much information on the internet that, some of it's erroneous, some of it's somewhat correct, but not really. I wanted to give a website that would help people take a look at their situation and give them resources that are correct, that, are going to be accurate to the minute, and that are going to tell people, how to get through retirement. I think even the most sophisticated do-it-yourselfer out there still has in the back of their mind questions, and this covers everything from portfolio risk to performance to Medicare, Social Security, long-term care. Anything that goes into that bucket of retirement, we are covering it, and we break it down in nice digestible areas so that people can get some knowledge and move on to the next subject.
Well, again, if you would like to receive a copy of that book or check out any of the great tools and calculators that are available to you, tjstearns.com, the central online hub available 24/7 anywhere in the world, but specifically of true value to proactive planning, saving, investing Chicagoland area residents that want to have that lasting financial confidence. So go visit the website, tjstearns.com, or give a call right now to take advantage of the offer and the opportunity for your complimentary review and retirement planning strategy session to get your Protect and Grow written retirement income plan. No cost, no obligation. By the way, it's a written plan documenting income, investments, taxes, healthcare, legacy, the major topics, and then all the subcategories under each one of those that you need to have your attention on to have that financial confidence, so you don't have to worry so much about the money and can live and enjoy your retirement. That's the true value and benefit of having a protect and grow written plan in place. So to take advantage of that offer, again, no cost, no obligation, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. So Tim, how do I know if I am making the progress that I need to and am ready to make the transition into retirement? I mean, me personally, I'm 44. I think I'm doing the right things, saving, investing, putting the money where I've been told to put it, taking advantage of the tools that I have available. But like, how do I even begin to imagine if I am on track to a successful period of time in my life where I no longer have to set the alarm clock, wake up, and show up to work every day?
Well, I mean, that comes with having a plan, right, Peter? And I think the big idea for us is that we talk to, whether you're a baby boomer or if you're in the throes of being retired, or if you're 44 years old. I mean, you can do things and get proactive out there and make sure that you are doing it correctly. Our intake form really kind of sets the tone as to how people are going to get through retirement. We go through everything, but the kitchen sink, as they say, to make sure that we're covering the bases that need to be covered for retirement. A lot of people think that it's all about money management, right? About risk and that type of thing. But there are so many other things that should go into there. Life insurance, Medicare, Social Security, understanding what that's going to deliver and not deliver to you. And that's why we do our retirement workshops. We'll be firing those back up in the fall. But the big thing is right now, just if you have questions and you want to know what is the way to get back on page here for retirement, give us a call. We'll get you, number one, the book, but number two, we have a really nice packet that we've put together with all kinds of retirement information. One of the pages is literally says, "Are you ready to retire?" And it talks about all the different checklists that you should be doing. I think most people, out of the 20 points on that checklist, maybe 8 to 9 of them they've covered. And then they go, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about those other 12."
I love checklists for that reason.
Absolutely. I think checklists, I mean, how much better will you feel that if you nail all 20 of those points on the checklist to say, "Yeah, I am ready to retire. Now I'm going to do it in, 3 years and 2 years, or I am retired and I can stay retired."
Yeah. And by having that checklist, you at least have thought about everything that is necessary, won't forget or overlook things. It's those things that we don't know or don't remember to address that has us going back to the store for second and third trips, right? That's where I love the checklist, Tim, is when I have the grocery list and everything is right there, so I can move through, check them off, know that I've got everything covered, and not have to take the trip back to the store. When it comes to retirement, there certainly is much more catastrophic implications of forgetting an item, right?
Right. And Peter, you and I talk about this all the time. You have one shot at an ideal retirement. The last thing you want to do is be in your 80s and turn to your spouse and said, "We didn't get it right. We did this, we did that." We're seeing a lot of people who want to retire. The workplace has changed since COVID. They want to get out and that type of thing, and they're taking undue risk in this stock market that is so fickle right now. You have Nvidia pushing and polling the market in different versions, right? And you're looking at the fact that they're dictating what's going to happen there, and people are following that. I have a client who wanted to be in charge of his own money, and he did that. And this a couple of years back, and to his own detriment, he got absolutely beat up in the market because he wanted to play the hot hand. And you cannot do that if you want to retire correctly. Slow and steady will win the race every time when it comes to retirement. I mean, we all want to be the tortoise, not the hare, right? And with that comes, risk. If you're going to be the hare, remember the hare analogy was that it was a flash in the pan, and that can screw up your retirement. You want to play slow and steady.
Yeah. There's a balance though, right, Tim, of we need protection and we need opportunity. And striking that balance along the way and continuing to maintain the proper balance is one of the greatest challenges, I think, with our money and with our lasting financial confidence. In addition, every balance, when you look at them, has to have a steady foundation on it in order to be accurate, right? You need the foundation for the scales, so to speak, to weigh and balance, and then find the proper balance on both sides with that protection and the opportunity that we want.
Right. And I mean, the big thing that I see with people, we had a guy in the other day who he had over $5 million, and that and you know, he was all set in his mind, and it was very interesting. Half of his portfolio was very basic, T-bills and that type of thing, almost cash, right? And the other half, though, he's trying to hit a home run and then a grand slam after that, and there was no balance on it, and at the end of the day, he's taking a lot of risk and no risk. And to your point, you need to strike the balance in the middle. And by doing that, by having active, strategic money management with, maybe some covered calls and puts on the money, some options, and then hedging, to make sure that you're being smart about this, is so important to him. And he was a former trader, so think about that. He knows what can happen, and good or bad.
Well, again, we are talking with Tim Stearns, CFP, and he is here to be your resource, ladies and gentlemen, an experienced, qualified professional to help you navigate the appropriate balance and the ups and downs and the volatility of the financial world, to make sure that you continue, regardless, to make forward financial progress toward lasting financial confidence into and throughout retirement, helping you make that transition, or even if you are before or after that transitionary period into retirement, that you are prepared for what's next. So if you would like to get your plan put together or review and evaluate your current plan to make sure that you've addressed everything that is on the checklist, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. So Tim, is there like a magic number that we should be aspiring to? And I know I'm talking here maybe from a little bit younger perspective and demographic than what you tend to deal with, but I think that people into their 50s and 60s and even beyond have the same question. Is there a magic number of a certain amount? Is it 1 million, 2 million, or even a number in terms of age? Is it 62 or 65 or 67 that will indicate that I am truly ready to retire and can do so confidently?
Well, it's all about income, right? In retirement, it's truly not about how much money you have, or it's about what that type of investment will throw off as income, right? So if you have, a $5 million portfolio that throws off $100,000 a year, and your bills are under that, well, then we're good to go, right? But you could also have a vehicle that is $1 million, that's throwing off $100,000. It all depends on what you have, right? And at the end of the day, it's about paying your bills. And with that comes doing an income allocation plan. So if you have your sights set on age 62, 65, whatever it is, and we can do an income allocation plan to show you that whatever you have in your portfolio is able to throw off that amount of income that you need, then that is then we're good to go, right? But if you're not, then you got to, scratch your head a little bit and figure it out. Because the last thing you want to do is to get into retirement and realize that you quit a great job and you don't have enough assets that are going to do the income that you need.
One chance, one shot at an ideal retirement. We don't really have good opportunities for do-overs. And yes, smart people learn from their own mistakes, but we don't have that time or luxury in retirement. That's why you got to have a plan in place, ladies and gentlemen. Do it right the very first time, and do it with confidence that you have addressed all of the issues and risks and identified the opportunities to make lasting retirement as confident as possible. And that is what the Protect and Grow Written Retirement Income Plan helps you to achieve and accomplish. Pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. So Tim, you used a terminology there. You've used this terminology, I think, throughout the course of the radio program, but I would like to dive into it a little bit more. Income allocation, as you put it. I think that many savers and investors are probably familiar with the concept of asset allocation,
Right.
but maybe less familiar with income allocation. Can you talk to us about what income allocation is, and the differences between the income allocation and the asset allocation?
All right, so asset allocation is basically a strategy for money management, right? You have your stocks, your bonds, and you do it based on your age, how much risk you should have, et cetera. That is asset allocation, and that is not a way to retire. It's a good money management strategy, but it's not a retirement strategy. Income allocation is where we take all of your information as to what kind of assets you have. We look at what your bills are, and then we build a plan. So income allocation is going to determine how we are going to pay our bills through Social Security. If you're lucky enough to still have a pension, any other guaranteed sources that you have, we minus out what your bills are, and then there's going to be a deficit more than likely. How do we backfill that so that we can take care of that gap and make sure that it lasts over 30 plus years? A lot of people say to me, well, my dad didn't live long, yada, yada, yada. I get all that. But at the end of the day, if your spouse does live that long, you want to make sure that you both are taken care of. People have a chance, a married couple has a 1 in 4 chance of living over the age of 90. So income allocation is basically building a retirement strategy that will take care of paying your bills throughout a 30 plus year retirement, not caring what the market does on a year-to-year basis, because you need to have guaranteed sources, whether those are pensions, annuities, Social Security, they need to be done. I've seen people try to live off of bonds. That hasn't worked out real well in the last 5 to 8 years. I just looked the other day for a client, 4 out of the last 7 years, the Schwab total bond index was down, and you're supposed to live on that. How are you going to do that? Right. So these are the things that we look at.
Tim, it almost sounds like a reverse engineering process, or looking at
Yes.
things backwards a little bit, which makes sense, right? Because the behavior and the necessity is completely different and opposite. During our working career, we're showing up to work, money's going into the investments. During retirement, we're not showing up to work, and money needs to come out of the investments. And it sounds like the difference between the asset allocation and the income allocation, asset allocation probably works pretty effectively as we're working and money is going in. Income allocation is the necessity when we are not working and money is coming out.
Right. When you retire, you have a finite amount of money, right? And you are going to become a spender, which is totally against what every parent has told you in your lifetime, right? You're going to flip the switch and now you become a spender. So yeah, to your point, you're going to have to figure out how that's going to get done, is paying the bills and using your money and making sure that it's generating enough income to keep you retired.
It's about the Asians here, Tim. Allocation, diversification, asset location, so
Yeah.
that you can quit your vocation and go on vacation.
Very well said. Well said. But I mean, that goes with, our mantra here, and the book is what covers that. So I want to say that again. I'd like to get the book out to people. The first 10 callers with over $1 million worth of assets, give us a call. And that's why I want to get the book out to you, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. And basically that riddle is, it's not your dad's stock market anymore. It's not your dad's pensions. This is a whole different world than how your parents, if you're a baby boomer, or myself, I'm 52 years old. This is not how you're going to retire, very differently than your parents. And here's the kicker. We're living longer, right? Without a lot of those guaranteed sources that your parents and grandparents had. So we need to be a lot smarter than the average person was 20 years ago and get through it.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like a copy of that book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, pick up the phone, be one of the first 10 callers. And the strategies, the book is purposed for those who have done a good job in preparing themselves for retirement, but still have those concerns about how to confidently make it last and make it happen. So if you have saved $1 million or more, this book is specifically for you. Just be one of the first 10 callers. Request a copy. You can get that in your hands. Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. 2256 is the number to call. And of course, if you would like to get a plan put together, everybody deserves to have more financial confidence about where they are at today and what the future may hold. That comes down to the plan. The Protect and Grow plan, the written retirement income plan, specifically is what Tim Stearns, CFP, will help you construct and put together, identifying the risks, issues, and opportunities. And he does offer to help you and assist in putting that together on a no cost, no obligation basis. And if you would like to implement it along with his help thereafter, of course, you can have those discussions. But to get your plan or to just review and evaluate the current plan, the assets, the investments, the accounts, pick up the phone. Tim can run some deep dive analysis on your holdings, your investments, and help you map out where and when they will be useful and utilized into the future. That is a huge benefit for further financial confidence. Again, the number to call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Also, the new revamped website, great resources available there, tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. I encourage you to go check that one out, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful site, easy to navigate, lots of different tools and places that you can go, resources, information that you can find there. And of course, a library of content in the podcast and the website and the videos and the YouTubes that Tim has put out there. So specific conversations on almost any particular topic, a little bit of a general show today talking about the concerns on the minds of savers and investors. But again, the website, tjstearns.com, your central hub to find out more. And TJ Stearns located conveniently in Arlington Heights, but the resource for so many across the Chicagoland area. But so many more need the help, the assistance, and the direction financially, have questions, have concerns. Get those addressed. Don't let those linger. Give Tim Stearns, CFP, a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, we only have about a minute left on the program, but are there any other big questions or concerns or common themes that you're hearing about in your conversations with clients or those that are coming in and talking to you?
Well, a big thing that we're seeing is people are asking, when is the Fed going to cut rates? And, they keep putting it off and putting it off. I see maybe September it happening, not a ton, but that's a big question and what that's going to do to the markets. And that's why I would tell anyone out there that, make sure you have active strategic money management on your portfolios right now, because that's going to happen. And it's supposed to be, a good thing for the markets usually, but obviously, has that been priced in already? That's what people are asking me.
Yeah, and the market has been a little wonky over the past decade, kind of reacting the opposite of what you would traditionally think it would do. Good news is bad news, and bad news is good news, and vice versa. But if the rates fall, Tim, it also makes it an important time to look at interest-bearing, income-generating tools for your retirement. Perhaps a better time to lock in advantageous payout rates for retirement income, as best a time as we have seen in decades. So if you are looking to generate more income or earn a little bit more interest on some idle money, pick up the phone, give a call to Tim Stearns. Now is the time to take a look at that. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, always a pleasure having you on the program. A great show today. One that I got to apply a little bit of the information to my own personal situation. So I always appreciate that. But thank you for being here as a resource.
It was my pleasure, Peter. Have a good one.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.